In this video, we're going to show you how to set up your Hele Box and install it in your vehicle. Super simple. Doesn't matter if you're using the Duo, size for 2 people, or the Solo, size for a single person. They both set up exactly the same. For today's instructional video, we're going to use the Solo just because that's what's going to fit on this table and in my camera shot. We're going to show you the step-by-step instructions. We'll show you how to set up your vehicle and get it into place. Thanks so much for tuning in. First things first, get everything out of the carrying case that it comes in. Just lay it all out somewhere nice and flat so you can do an inventory count to make sure you have everything. So we're going to start from right to left on my side. We've got 2 short poles, 2 long poles. There's 3 center supports, the front, middle, and the rear. The wooden slatted topper, and then in this case are all the extendable legs. There should be 6 short legs and 2 long extended legs that will go into the footwells. We'll talk about those a little later. Now the Hele Box is extremely easy to set up. There's essentially 3 steps you got to do. The first step is just assembling the frame. Once it's assembled, step 2, you attach the legs. And then step 3, once the frame's in your car and leveled out, you put on the wooden topper. So we're going to follow that exact process. I'm going to clear everything off of this table here except for the parts of the frame so we can focus on those. All right, let's get this frame set up. The first thing we're going to do is just lay out these center supports. All of them are going to have these labels on them. Now the labels go front, middle, and rear/trunk. So we're going to put the rear trunk end here on the side, middle, in the middle, in the front, in the front. Now on this middle piece, there'll be a side that says middle front and another side that says middle rear. So we're going to line it up accordingly, right? We want this side facing the rear, this side facing the front. Another really easy way to tell, the tubing that extends out further is going to go to the front. Now we're going to grab our short poles here. The short poles are going to go into the rear and attach to the middle. So we're going to attach these. And then the long poles are going to attach to the middle and the front sections. Great. So now I'm just going to go ahead and attach them. It's really easy. It's a push pin system. You just put it in, push that pin. Once you see it and hear it pop into place, you're good to go. Let's get this middle section on. Beautiful. And last but not least, the front section. Awesome. Just like that, your frame has been assembled. It's that easy. Now we're going to need to get the legs in place. What to do next is put in the legs. So that bag that contained all the legs, now is a great time to bring it out. Don't forget your Allen key that was provided for you in the bag. All right, so we've got the frame in place. We've got the legs laid out. Now you need to figure out which set of legs you're putting on your Hele Box. So no matter what configuration you do, you'll almost always have 4 of these short legs here in the rear. So we'll put those in place. We'll come back and tighten them down in a second. Okay, so now the front set of legs. You're either going to use the extended set or the short legs that are just like the other 4 that we put in place. Now what determines if you should use the extended or the short depends on your vehicle. So if you're going on flat ground, if you're putting this in a truck bed or a minivan, right, where there's not a ton of adjustments and it's mostly flat and you need minor adjustments, then you'll be putting in the short legs. And you'll have all 6 short legs on your frame. Now, if you're putting this in an SUV, so like a 4Runner, a Forester, a CRV, any SUV where these legs are going to drop into those rear footwells, you're going to need the extended legs. So for us today, I've got my 4Runner behind us. That's what we're going to be putting it in. That's an SUV. And so I'm going to put on these extended legs. Later in the video, we'll show you why you need these extended legs. and what makes them unique. But for now, we're going to put those into place and then take that Allen key that we provided for you, and right on the side of every bracket here, there'll be a little bolt with a nut on the other end. All you need to do is come over. You can start with the long end. Get it moving and grooving for you, nice and hand tight. And then I like to get the short end and give it one final half turn there to really cinch it into place. So we're going to tighten down all of these legs. Don't forget, and then we're going to put this frame into the vehicle. Before we put the frame in the vehicle, I wanted to quickly highlight how these legs function. So it's a standard push pin system, like I'm sure you've seen before. You push the pin in and move it up and down in place. Now, unlike other systems, the Hele Box is unique because we have a dual lock. So we also have a twist lock here. So once it's in place, you can cinch it down and remove any play on that inner leg. This helps to give you a much more sturdy frame. Now just remember, when you're adjusting the height, you have to loosen this twist lock. So keep it loose. This will allow you to adjust your height easily. And once you find that nice and level sleeping height in your platform, tighten this down, cinch it in place. There's no more play here. You also won't be able to move that push pin. Now, before you put the frame in your car, the first thing, I'm a bad example, I've already got it in here. The first thing you're going to want to do is move those front seats as far forward as they can go. You'll be able to set them back afterwards, but while you're setting the frame in there, just move them as far forward as you can. And the other piece is why I put the frame in here prematurely is you're going to loosen all of these twist locks. So you don't have to take them off, just loosen them enough so these legs can easily adjust and move up and down. So that's step one. This will help make the adjustments much easier when it's just flipped right side around. All right, so I've got my frame assembled, all my legs tightened on, and then those twist locks are loosened for easy adjustment. Now I'm just going to go ahead and place this frame in the vehicle. It's really lightweight, super easy to put in here. So I'm going to have this sit on that one end of the footwell. Now when you first put it in, obviously it's not going to be level. The first legs you're going to adjust are those front ones. Always adjust the front ones first, get those nice and level, and then you come back and set the ones in the rear afterwards. All right, so now I'm just going to go and set this leg to be nice and visibly level. You can always come back and change it if you need to. So I got my front leg set. One of them is deep down in this footwell, and the other one's sitting on the center hump here in the rear seated footwells. Next up, I'm just adjusting these legs here in the center. So I'm going to drop this down until it makes contact with the floor right there. Do the same for this one. Beautiful. All right, now once you've got the frame in here, all the legs set and adjusted, make sure you do a nice visual to ensure that the frame is level. Last step before putting on the wooden topper is just to tighten up these twist locks. So go around to every single leg once you've got it nice and level, tighten in those twist locks, remove the play on that inner leg. We're just going to take our wooden topper, come in here, place it on the frame, and then we're going to grab the side that has the logo here, Hele Outdoors. That's going to face the trunk or the rear. Put that in place. I'm going to come around the other side and just grab this end of the topper. Slide it on out. Lock it into place. Last but certainly not least, make sure you load up that bag now that it's empty with all your gear and your goodies. Use the compartmentalization that's in there, and then just take it and slide it right underneath your platform. it's as easy as that, getting the Hele Box set up and placed in your vehicle. Now, when it comes to disassembly, it's the same as assembly, just backwards. We made our bag slightly oversized so you can fit everything in there with ease. And then as a little pro tip here, while you're breaking down, when you take off these legs, leave them at their adjustment that you set it to. That way, it will be much quicker when you go to put the frame back in your vehicle. You won't need to spend the time figuring out your perfect adjustment.